2 really bad months have hurt the Cubs, just like it did in 2023.
You are Locked On Cubs, your daily Chicago Cubs podcast. Part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day.
You are Locked On Cubs, part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day. Alongside Sam Olber, I'm Matt Caissie. Sam and I are lifelong fans, taking our passion into discussion with you on all things Cubs. Thank you for being part of the show and making us your first listen today. The best way you can help us grow the show is to listen every day. Like the video and comment anything below. Today's episode is presented by Prize Picks, the easiest and most exciting way to play daily fantasy sports. Go to prizepicks.com/LockedOnMLB and use code LockedOnMLB for a first deposit match up to $100. And thank you for making us the number one destination on the planet Earth to talk Cubs. And that's not an exaggeration. That's real across audio and video. And with that being said, we do have a big announcement to make on this Thursday for Friday episode, as we are going to be live from 11 a.m. to 1 p.m. next Saturday, September 7th at Almost Home in Wrigleyville. Sam and I will be there hanging out before Cubs-Yankees that day. This is not a live show. It's a pregame hangout. We hope to see a lot of our listeners and viewers there. Almost Home in Wrigleyville, 3801 North Clark Street in Chicago. Sam, this will be fun. Our first event in Wrigleyville.
And I'll be there for that.
Well, yeah, I hope.
Okay. Yeah, that'll be a good time. Just the whole purpose is come say hello. Come say hello. Talk a little Cubs. Probably
have a chicken wing with us.
Say what everybody says to me when they see me in person. They're gonna go, "Oh wow, Sam, you look a little bit taller. I thought you were about 5'7". Every time we do a live show where people come up to me, they go, "Yeah, I didn't realize you were that tall. I guess sitting in a chair, dwarfs me." But everyone goes, "I thought Matt was 6'3".
Yeah, so, 5'11". So
yeah, no, and so am I. But I guess you're about a half an inch taller than me, so one of us is lying about our heights.
Gotcha.
Come say hello to us. I think you're 6 feet.
Yeah, you have said that.
No, I'm 100% you're 6 feet. I don't know why you would say that. Come say hello to us. As you could tell, the school year started for Matt as he's just pounded some caffeine at about 5:30, which isn't good. Sorry for that, Kira. And we're going to we're going to talk about this Cubs team, and we're going to talk about all right, well, what if they do finish with 84, 85 wins? That's right about where we thought they would be. I think I had 87. You had something like 82, but you changed it 10 times. And then
right, I've changed it a lot.
And then, so, but the rest of the National League's just really, really good. Is that a problem? I had a tweet yesterday I'd like to bring up as well. So you tell us where you'd like to go with this, and please come say hello to us September 7th, which is, I believe, the first official Saturday of college football too. So there'll be a lot of things going on.
Yeah, well, the first official college football Saturday is 2 days from now.
Oh.
But this will be the second one. So
Illinois plays tonight.
That's weird.
They play Eastern Illinois. I believe Tony Romo went to school there.
That's right.
And Jimmy Garoppolo. Yeah. Jinx, you owe me a Coke.
Cubs are 68-66, fresh off a sweep of the Buccos in the midst of a 9-3 run in this so-called soft 18-game stretch. They're also 29-18 since the 4th of July. However, they went 22-39 from April 27th to July 3rd, and that has proven to be so far insurmountable as the Cubs have held serve in the standings despite their recent success. As of this recording, about 5:30 Central Time here on a Thursday, the Cubs are 5.5 games back of the third wild card spot with the Braves and Mets in front of them. Sam, I feel the Cubs are stuck in the standings, and there's a lot of parallels to last year.
Can I read you my tweet?
Yeah.
This was I tweeted this at about 11 o'clock Central Time last night.
Oh wow!
Been really having a hard time.
You've been staying up late. Yeah.
No, I've been having a hard time falling asleep. It's something I gotta look into. Here's the tweet quote from me. 2023 Cubs had 2 bad months. May, they went 10-18. September, they went 12-16, which is a bit deceiving because it felt like it was worse than that. But, it was so bad towards the end.
Yeah.
Those 2 months, that combined record, Matt, 22-34. The 2024 Cubs so far, we haven't played September yet, have had 2 bad months. They just happened consecutively. They went 11-17 in May and 11-16 in June for an almost identical 22-33 record. So they had 2 months last year where they combined to go 22-34. 2 months this year where they combined to go 22-33. And at the end of the day, this is just factual, quantitative proof for what we said. Yeah. Every team's going to have one of those months. You can't have 2 because I did the math. It's over a third of the season.
Well, 38%.
Yeah, it's over a third of the season, so you can't be bad for over a third of the season. And
it's a lot.
You go back to last year. Cubs had a decent April, good June, fine July, tremendous August. This year, the other 4 months, solid April, solid. Fine July. I think they were about a game over. And so far, a tremendous August. We'll see what September brings. You just have to limit the bad months to 1 or 2. And of course, there's baseball and X's and O's to this. And Matt, we were talking off the air about listening to podcasts. I went back last night and listened to our show Memorial Day weekend when I landed back from the City of Angels. Oh. And I kind of insinuated it, but I regret it. I should have just said it out there because I was feeling it. I had said, lack of urgency. This is the time, right? And at the end of May, sometimes it's not about, WRC plus and OPS plus. Sometimes it's just getting a group of guys together and going, we're not having another month like that. Hey, St. Louis is coming to town, then San Fran, then the Mets. We need to get right. It's 6 out of 9. Let's go, right? We're going to have more urgency this week than they are. And I know everybody listening is going to laugh and say that that's old school. And that's not what the binder says that you do. And, all those things. But that's just what needed to happen. This team shouldn't have bled straight their struggles in May shouldn't have bled into June, especially after learning that that's what happened last year.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, so I think the recap to this campaign could be as short as you want it to be out there. Any point that anyone's going to make from here on out, even if they keep playing well, it's always, not some of the time, but all of the time, going to go back to the 61 games. That's it. You don't need some long explanation. We will take a deep dive into the offense, I think, in that 61. Maybe a little bit the bullpen. The starting pitching has been so steady this year. But don't go 22-39. How many times do I have to say it? That's 38% of the year. As it stands right now with this record, 68-66, they have just a 3% chance to make the playoffs, according to Fangraphs. Unfortunately, Baseball Reference has the Cubs with an expected record of 71-63, which would put them only 2.5 games behind the Braves. When going into this month, I'm thinking about, can they do the reverse from last year? When you talk numbers, you talk percentages. It's, can we say there's like PTSD? I don't know if that's appropriate. They had a 92% chance to make the playoffs on September 6, 2023.
Yeah.
They blew it.
Deja vu is probably a better term.
May and June this year, they blew it. And that's all it is. Right. 17 games under 500. There's no mystery to being stuck in the standings, not being able to gain ground. They built themselves a massive hole.
Yeah, and I agree with everything you said. I'd like to add one more thing.
Yeah.
You mentioned the Braves. We as a show, I think, have done a nice job, and I think the rest of the people as well are starting to realize, let's say hypothetically so. Let's say the Cubs they continue to get hot. They finish the year at 85-77, which is, that would cash their over-under on FanDuel and all these things. What Jed Hoyer needs to figure out, in addition to his baseball team, is why does the team up north have so much more success than you year in and year out? Because they're the team that's upset the apple cart. They're the team that, we thought it was going to be Cubs, Cardinals, maybe Reds. That was what the offseason suggested. And Milwaukee came in. They traded Burns. They have no Woodruff this year, no Counsell. They lost Devin Williams for the large part of the beginning of the season and then some. Yelich got hurt, and I watched them. They were on in the background today as I was doing some work from home, and they're clinical. They're stealing home. They take pitches. They grind at bats. Their bullpen. That's the team that you're competing with. They have something figured out that you don't. And you either need to fix that with your payroll advantage and just go, hey, we're going to buy the corrections, which I think they tried to do with Counsell and failed, or you have to try and catch them with their shrewdness or their intelligence, because you look at their lines, you look at everything, and none of it adds up to a 95-win team. But that's what they are, because there's a lot of people, including me, that thought 87 would be plenty to win this division this year. And it's not going to be, because the Brewers are one of the best teams in baseball.
Well, up to you how you want to look at the 2020 season, but the Brewers have been better than the Cubs for 7 years now.
Yep.
7.
Yep. It's like a Bears-Packers thing now at this point, where it's like,
yeah, it's abysmal.
It's not that the Brewers own us like the Packers do, because the Cubs win plenty of series against the Brewers. But it's just like, it just feels like this year, for example, just to use football, Detroit's supposed to be really good, right? They're the team to beat in the division, but it just feels like you got to go through Green Bay, and the Cubs need to figure out a way to be better than the Brewers. That they have to figure that out, and because the point I originally was trying to make is, we're going to do some scoreboard watching tonight with the Braves. The Cubs aren't as good as the Braves. They're not supposed to be. If the Braves are healthy with Spencer Strider, Ronald Acuna, Austin Riley, Ozzie Albies, these guys, with all due respect, because I love the Cubs, it's a complete difference in class, okay?
Yeah,
these are superstars on this team. The only reason the Braves are within striking distance is because of their injuries. What we were built to do this year, we were built to win this division. Tom Ricketts said so. And we're supposed to be better than the Brewers. So why aren't we? I have answers. I've answered them a ton. Clutch hitting, margins, playing the game the right way, urgency, all those things, bullpen. But Jed needs to acknowledge that and answer that question, in addition to the 2 months of problems. Because guess what, Matt? We keep talking about those 2 months. Guess what happened at the end of May and at the end of June?
What?
We went to Milwaukee and lost 3 out of 4. 2 out of 3.
Yeah, so the head-to-head isn't favorable.
Yeah, they were 8-5 against us this year.
Right. That mattered.
Part of it. Well, of course it does. If you flip it, it's a 6-game difference, and the stretch would be 3 back.
Wow. Yeah, that's pivotal. And people don't want to say, that's a measuring stick between the two teams. How is it not?
You said it. The Brewers, 2018 flipped everything.
18, 19, 20, 21, 22.
I don't count
7
20.
years.
I don't count 20.
So 6 years then.
Yeah. 18.
6 seasons.
Yeah, they have, and I'm guilty of it. I thought getting Craig Counsell would change that. With all due respect, it has not changed a thing.
Well, and they traded their best pitcher.
Lost their closer for a while. 2 years ago, they traded maybe the best closer of this generation.
Right.
Haven't missed a beat.
Their star players out right now.
Our players out. Adames, they're going to lose in free agency. And they are very much like the Rays or Cleveland of the National League. And the Cubs got to figure it out.
Cubs have 28 games left. The next 3 are against the Nationals. We preview that series next. Today's episode is brought to you by Liquid IV. Liquid IV goes well with baseball in summer. And you can hydrate with Liquid IV, the #1 powdered hydration brand in the US of A. It's easy and convenient to tear, pour, and enjoy after a long night, a day of traveling, or a tough workout. Blast off with the iconic summer flavor of Popsicle Firecracker, a festive blend of citrus-fueled lemon lime, tart cherry, and raspberry flavors, 3 times the electrolytes of the leading sports drink, 8 essential vitamins and nutrients, always non-GMO, vegan, gluten-free, dairy-free, and soy-free. No more thirsty summers. You indulge in hydration with Liquid IV. Get 20% off your first order of Liquid IV when you go to liquidiv.com. Use code MLB at checkout. It's 20% off your first order when you shop Better Hydration today using promo code MLB at liquidiv.com. Cubs play the Nationals at 5:45 p.m. Central Friday, and you can hear every pitch of the Cubs hometown broadcast on Sirius XM by searching Cubs on the SXM app. That's right. Cubs begin a 3-game series in the nation's capital, 5:45 Friday. They play at 3:05 Saturday and another early one Sunday, 12:35. This is projected starters now, unless it was released since we pressed record. Imanaga and Irvin, Assad and Hertz, and Tyone and Parker, a couple of lefties in there for the Nats.
Yeah.
Who are 23 and 34 since June 24th when they were hovering around 500. Sam, a familiar face in DJ Hers, and a couple unproven guys in there as well.
Nationals coming off taking 2 of 3 from the Yankees in DC.
Yeah.
They got
6 and 4 in their last 10.
Pretty good player, CJ Abrams, that leads off for him. He really got off to a good start. He's faltered a little bit. They got a guy, James Wood, that they brought up, who's a young player, I believe, just 21 years of age. I could be wrong on that. He oozes with talent and stardom in the middle of their lineup. He's at 275 with a 374 on base. He's pretty good. Garcia hits. I mean, they don't really hit many home runs. They're not a big home run hitting team. The pitchers that we're going to see, Hertz obviously is the headliner because of the Cubs trade with Candelario. That was obviously a failure for this organization, despite what people say, because Candelario had a good couple of weeks. It was a failure. He wasn't good enough. The Cubs didn't make the playoffs. That's why they made the trade. And then Mitchell Parker, kind of a finesse lefty on Sunday. I mean, nothing overwhelming. The Cubs, it's hard to say because the Yankees just went in and lost 2 of 3. So it sounds kind of crazy to say, but the Cubs should handle this series with the way they're playing, as long as it's all about runs with this team. You like Imanaga's chances, of course. Tyone, Assad, 2 of those 3 guys will probably put in decent starts. If you could score 4 or 5 plus for 3 games, you like your chances.
Absolutely. And, with the Nationals on the heels of winning the series against the Yankees, who might have the best combo of hitters since literally Ruth and Gehrig.
Yes.
I think that there might be a little something brewing there in DC. Abrams and Wood, a couple others there. I believe those are from, one was the Soto trade, or were they both in the Soto trade?
I don't know about Wood. Abrams was for sure.
So, a lot of young players. I have to say the DJ Hers thing, it's annoying.
Yeah.
So the Cubs traded a major league starter less than 12 months later for a rental third baseman.
Yeah.
Who didn't even play third. He played first more.
But again, that's what it takes at the deadline to make the playoffs, but he didn't perform. That's why it's bad. It's not the process of it. This team had a chance to make the postseason. They took a shot. It didn't work. You're graded on results in this business, and he was not a good Chicago Cub.
I wanted to look this up during the segment, especially after the onslaught of runs the last 3 games, although, this is plenty of room for this stat. But the Cubs record now when scoring 4+ runs, if that continues to be the magic number for them, they're almost 40 over 500 now. They're 56 and 17.
Unbelievable. I saw a stat.
That is dominant.
I saw a stat with Seattle yesterday. I think it was 5 or more. They're now 43 and 4.
Ooh, that's crazy.
This isn't the time to do this, but I'm going to do it anyway.
Okay.
Keep an eye on the Mariners and Cubs. The Cubs need a controllable starter, and the Mariners are going to trade one, and they're going to need some offense. And the Cubs have some guys, like whether it's Bush, Horner, Caissie, whoever it is. Keep an eye on that, because the Mariners.
I think you're right.
The Mariners this season they have like 5 really, really good starters, and their offense outside of the team over on 35th and Shields is just the worst offense in baseball. And that's why they're not very good. Julio Rodriguez is supposed to be a star. He hasn't been. I could see maybe like a Horner or a Bush, Triantos, or a Caissie, something for a guy like a George Kirby or Logan Gilbert. Then you tackle that, and then you go get some offensive help in free agency. But that's neither here nor there. Mark me down on that for October 19th.
Sounds good. Coming up next, we're going to go into Farm Friday. We're going to talk about Owen Caissie, who was speculated as the first call-up for September. Well, that's Sunday if that happens. So we're going to look at what he's done recently and then get an update on Jordan Wicks.
This episode is brought to you by Prize Picks. I might get on Prize Picks right when we're done with the show because I got 2 starters in my fantasy playoffs going against each other, Bowden Francis and Cutter Crawford. I'm going to take both their over strikeouts because that's what I need. Prize Picks is America's #1 daily fantasy sports app with over 5 million active members. Prize Picks is the easiest and most exciting way to play daily fantasy sports. Unlike other apps on Prize Picks, it's just you against the numbers. All you do is pick more or less on 2 to 6 player stat projections and watch the winnings roll in. Get in on the daily actions with your friends and become part of the Prize Picks community today. You can now win up to 100 times your money on Prize Picks with as little as 4 correct picks. You can turn $10 into $1,000. That's a nice dinner right there. Sign up today and get $50 instantly when you play $5. You don't even need a win to receive the $50 bonus. It's guaranteed. The experience of playing with Prize Picks is so simple and fun. And guys, this fall, a week from Sunday, one Caleb Williams passing yard gets you 1 win on Prize Picks every week. That's right, only 1 yard, and you get an automatic win every football week in September. 4 weeks of free W's. Don't miss the deal on Prize Picks because it's gone, like Green Day said, when September ends. Download the Prize Picks app today. Use code LOCKEDONMLB for a first deposit match up to $100. That's code LOCKEDONMLB on Prize Picks for a first deposit match up to $100. Prize Picks, run your game.
Jordan Wicks is going to make a 5th rehab start on Friday for AAA Iowa. After a rough beginning, Wicks' last 2 starts has produced 8 2/3 scoreless innings with only 1 walk and 8 strikeouts. I do wonder, Sam, if his next time out will be for the Cubs. One of 3 options, I think, and tell me what you think. As a piggyback to Assad, or as a starter in Hendrick's spot, or as a 6th starter. What say you?
I think after this rehab start, he should make the next start for Hendricks, and then maybe Hendricks could just piggyback off of him.
Okay, so Hendricks first in relief for Wicks.
Yeah, let Wicks go 4 and Kyle go 2, and then go to the pen. It'll never happen. It never works out the way you think it's gonna.
Yeah, well, hopefully.
Why not get Wicks some more major league reps before the year ends? What?
I'd be surprised with this much time still left.
I'd like to see him pitch against the Yankees.
Okay.
Throw him out in the fire a little bit.
So maybe a week from Friday he pitches.
Yeah, throw him out there against the Yanks and see what happens. I believe you grow that way.
Absolutely. I love it. Shoot. With that in mind, bat PCA first or second against the Bronx Bombers.
I like that idea too, especially with the way Michael Busch has been slugging the baseball.
Slugging?
Yeah, well, it's
strong word.
I'd like to see him down in the order, maybe like 5th, 6th, or 12th, and then you could
the shade.
Well, there's some fantasy implications with him, but it'll be interesting to see if I hope he doesn't sit back-to-back days versus those lefties. Saturday and Sunday.
If Patrick Wisdom starts on the last 2 days of August, dude, that's going to be so frustrating.
Well, he's starting one of them, and he's probably going to hit a long ball. He may hit one he may hit one like the Lincoln Memorial or something. I was hoping that we would be able to do a little DC trivia because that's my.
I don't have that ready.
It's one of my favorite cities. I love history and American history. I really haven't been there in quite a while. I should get back. I think I said this last year when we played them. I said I should get back there. You know what? Mark me down next year. I'm going to, depending on the time, I'd like to do a Cubs-Nats trip in D.C. Wow. Go see the Lincoln Memorial, go see the Capitol building, all those things, tour around, and then watch the Cubs lose a 3-2 game in D.C.
Come on.
You know what I mean?
Why did you do that?
I'd like to do that. What's your favorite part? Did you go to D.C. when you were a kid?
I did. I went in high school.
Oh, so you didn't do like the 8th
not
grade
as a part
trip.
of a school trip.
You just went
with my family.
Yeah.
Yeah, saw all the sights, and I enjoyed it.
I think
the Smithsonian.
The museums were great. I think the most surreal part for me as a youth was
National Cemetery.
Was being at Arlington Cemetery and seeing the eternal flame over Kennedy's casket.
It's great.
That's pretty cool.
Yes.
And then Ford Theater where President Lincoln was assassinated. That was, just there's so much history there.
One more note, Owen Caissie.
Guess we're off of that then.
How about that for a second?
Yeah, it's a good segue.
No, that was my Johnny Carson and McMahon.
No, I love the history of this country.
I know you do. I know. No, it's great.
They should have something. No, I'm not going to get into that.
Owen Caissie might get called up as soon as Sunday, and he is hot right now. 7 for his last 12. Listen to this: 2 homers, 2 doubles, and a triple. On the season, he's slashing 272, 370, 463 with 15 homers and 128 strikeouts in 107 games. So maybe we see him as soon as Sunday. A lot of swing and miss in that kid's bat, but he's got some pop.
Yeah, we missed seeing the FDR Memorial when I was there because of weather. So, that'd be something to check off. No, I think you're going to see Caissie. I think exactly what you said is going to happen. I think the Cubs are going to put some guys on waivers.
So they would have had to do that today.
Oh, is it the last day today?
Because 48 hours would be the last day of August.
Well, but then maybe they part ways with wisdom.
Well, but maybe they did put him on waivers. We just don't know.
Right.
And they might DFA, honestly, Sam, they might DFA Wisdom, maybe Talkman too.
I don't think that'd be wise.
I think they should keep him into the winter, don't you?
I think they should keep Talkman. But don't they have Luis Vasquez on the active roster right now?
They do.
So they could just bring up Caissie and send him down.
They could, yeah. They could. You're right.
Problem
and then
solved
I think we see Jack Neely probably come up Sunday as the first pitcher call-up. So.
And don't forget, they get an extra guy.
What do you mean?
Like a September call-up. Don't they get one more guy? They don't have to send somebody down?
Yes, you're right. So they just come up. Yeah.
So they could could do Caissie for Vasquez and then maybe bring up, Alcantara as well.
Oh, look at you, Mr. Roster.
Yeah, look at me.
Okay. All right. Well,
right.
That's the show.
Well, we probably won't see you till after Labor Day. So around Labor Day. So have a great Labor Day weekend.
We'll be back Sunday for Monday. We still got to decide about Monday for Tuesday.
Yeah, have a great weekend. Enjoy it. Labor Day weekend, I believe, is one of the great weekends of the year. You got college football starting up.
Go
you
Hawkeyes.
Got baseball pennant race. And then
Cubs.
right around the corner, you could smell NFL football. And then Saturday, September 7th, you could hang out with Matt and I.
Look at you, Mr. Podcast.
At Almost Home, where I'll probably be overeating.
I might have a Coke.
Oh, well then talk to me and not Matt.
Thank you so much for checking out this edition of Locked On Cubs.
Please
you give us
don't
20
tell
to
me
30
how small I look on camera.
minutes. We'll give you all things Cubs with a laugh or two along the way. Be sure to hit subscribe on YouTube, smash the like button for the algorithm, and leave a 5-star review on Apple, Spotify, and everywhere you get your podcast. All right, we'll be back Sunday for Monday to recap Cubs, Nats, and more. He's Sam Olber. I'm Matt Caissie. This is Locked On Cubs.